Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Man, do I love the smell of crypto in the morning. I'm ready this morning. I don't care what the market's doing, but let's take a look at it regardless, because at some point we are going to need it to do well, right? So $2.21 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 0.8% in the last 24. 60,400 plus for Bitcoin. It's nice to see that back over 60K, but yet we're still waiting for Ethereum to get back over that 3,000 mark. It's at 2,600 plus right now. 115 billion plus market cap for USD Tether, but what's going to come of that? We don't know yet. Remember, that is still a foot we need to see drop so we can fully understand how it will be and where it will sit once we have regulation all across the land, not just in certain places. So USDC right now at the number 6 spot with 34 billion plus market cap. XRP at the number 7 spot is 57 cents. Now we're off by 4% on the 24, but we're up 6% on the 7-day. Looking at the range of price very quickly here, we're ranging between 57 and 60 cents and sitting at 58. So you can see where we're at there. Let's go ahead and take a look at this very quickly, because I tell you, this has gotten massive response from so many people, as I thought that it would, because I have experienced this and I know a lot of you have. Take a quick listen here. This is very real, and it is something you should consider for yourself and your family all the way around.
I get calls every day of people saying, listen, I've taken 2 or 3 shots. I feel sick all over. I've had COVID. We now know that the spike protein is in the body for a very long time. There has to be detoxification. So far, the only available supplement that has a detoxifying capability with respect to dissolution of the spike protein is a Japanese product called nattokinase. Nattokinase, an endogenous oral thrombolytic, basically proteolytic enzyme.
So if you're looking to break up the spike proteins that could have been caused in your body by the shots from COVID, this is the thing to get right here. And not only that, but look, I've got it so you can get a code, a 10% discount code with the link underneath this video. Use the code DP Health. And you can also get an emergency kit, not just the spike protein detox kit, which is spike support. Get that too. But also get this right here, because you know when times get tough and then there's something going around and everybody's getting sick, you want these general medications on your person in your home for you and your family member, and every family member should have it and have access to it. These are general medications that anyone and all families need. So why not get it with the link below and get 10% off for it? That's the thing right there. Let's get started. I know it's meant a lot to me to have it, no question. Here we see it. Celsius demands $2.4 billion from USD Tether in the same week. Ripple is declaring they will be launching their Ripple stablecoin. They have not launched it on the XRP ledger and the Ethereum network. But what's interesting about this, and the CEO of Tether came out and said this is not how this works, and says everything will work out and Celsius will learn that they're not getting that Bitcoin back. And that's the way that got explained by the CEO of Tether. However, it is being floated now that this is one more way to go after and try to cut and underpin the underpinning that is Tether, right? By cutting out the reserves and collateral that they have in those positions. And the more you can cut those positions out, then obviously the books are not what they claim to be. We'll see what's happening here, but we just saw them get the door shut on them in the EU and 27 nations there. They don't qualify as a stable coin. Now we're seeing $2.4 billion argument for backing and collateral to be clawed back. Whether it happens or not, we'll have to watch. But you can see there are these moments. What will U.S. legislation provide? A lot of clarity for us and Tether. Will they be allowed to sit inside of our regulatory framework? It's going to get interesting. And meanwhile, speaking of regulatory framework, the CFTC prediction market proposal is receiving strong opposition from major market crypto fintech firms like the Winklevoss twins, Tyler Winklevoss, exchanging back and forth in this. I believe it. No, is this one? No, it might not have been this. But no, it's not. Actually, it was. It was him talking about the argument for the gaming law or the gaming application in here, the definition, but it wasn't the Winklevoss. I'll show you that in a second. I've read all these articles at once. Now they're kind of melding together. Critics argue the rule's broad definition of gaming improperly restricts event contracts and conflates speculation with gambling. Now, I wanted to show this because this is how simple, you think, oh, we just write the legislation and let's get this done. Then when they do write a rule, right, they can't even write the rule right without it being a problem. Remember the broker-dealer definition and how that caused problems? So that's what I'm saying. This is why we need John Deaton as the center of Massachusetts, not only to get Massachusetts back on track, but because we know this innovation is going to help America show up as a leader in the world, a continued leader in this world. But don't forget about what may be coming here.
Which do you like better, Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Bitcoin.
What's
I'm
your
a gold
price?
guy.
Okay.
I'm a gold guy.
Give me your price target for the longer term with Bitcoin, because right now at about 63,000, where do you see it going?
Right. So about a year ago, I started pounding the table because eventually the Fed is going to start easing here. That's great for gold and that's for Bitcoin. What I said is Bitcoin is growing up and will be eventually half the total market cap of gold. So that's about 350,000. So quite a ways to go from here. The super bulls, if central banks adopt it and it's part of the monetary system, then in the millions. But I don't like to talk about that too much.
What, more than 2 million? More than 3?
Yeah, like 2.9. We've got some model, which is you have to look at the assumptions.
Right. Well, yeah.
And there you have it. So we shall see what's going to come of all of this. But one thing we know is crypto and digital payment systems should be a bipartisan or nonpartisan issue, rather. The truth is digital payment systems are very efficient. And listen to what he says here. It sounds like he's describing to me like XRP Ledger or Stellar networks. Listen.
Stuart, I'm really surprised that crypto and digital payment systems are a partisan issue. It should be bipartisan because there's been multiple attempts over the last 3 years. The Stablecoin Act and other, Gillibrand, both sides, red and blue, have been trying to push this narrative forward. And they've run into a roadblock in Gensler, and I totally get that, and he's not going to change his mind. But the truth is that digital payment systems are very efficient. Bitcoin's just one of those, and there's many other tokens. But this idea of digitizing finance is a good idea. I believe eventually it'll be the 12th sector of the S&P. And I'll be surprised if Harris doesn't get on board with this, because she wants the young voter, just like Trump is going after them here with these comments. And he made big news at the Nashville Bitcoin conference. It's coming. Remember, we've got an ETF here, both in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And every institution I know wants to put a 1% to 3% weighting on it, but they just don't want to make anybody in compliance unhappy, including Gensler at the SEC, which they have to work with every day. Everyone has been hearing.
And there you have it. Now listen to this. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson warns a Harris victory equals demise for American crypto sector. This is the conversation that was going on between Charles Hoskinson and Tyler Winklevoss. And they both get it. They don't buy the deception that's being put forth here. Just like I don't buy the deception that this woman can't form a complete sentence that anybody would listen to and find intelligible. And yet they're telling us somehow that she's ahead in the polls. And you can't even tell me what her campaign promises and wishes are and the whole bit. You can't, not a one. Not a one. I told you. The biggest danger to this country's freedom is mainstream media. And until you dismantle it or decentralize that industry the way the music industry was decentralized or the way the taxi industry was decentralized, you got nothing. Take a listen to this, because this is the truth about this space right here.
My job will be to set you free and to let you do what Americans do best and what you're going to do better than anybody. Win, win, win. You're going to win, win, win.
This is really the closing thoughts to the speech, and I really thought they were beautiful, and it really spoke to me as just somebody that's been working in this space for over 10 years. He says you're the modern day Edisons and Wright brothers and Carnegies and Henry Fords, and he says it takes courage to do what you do.
He's absolutely right. There's no doubt about it. This is a moment of innovation in the world, and we will see the next Edisons and Wright brothers and Carnegies and Henry Fords birthed out of this technology. This is the fourth industrial revolution. It is a tech revolution. And shout out to Vet right here. It says, if the clawback is intended for the real USD, which is coming soon, beyond testing, it becomes dependent on XLS-73 to allow XRP Ledger automated market maker usage. In circles, USDC contract on ETH block listing account seems to be important. XRP Ledger's authorized trust lines work opposite and are not suitable. So, could we see the real USD on Ethereum first? I say, let it rip, Vet. Let it rip. Because we know that that's exposing it to $400 billion in market cap, damn near. And let it rip. I personally believe that the more people on the Ethereum network get to work with the real USD and have that transition and go back and forth between the XRP Ledger, we'll find out in no time flat, and it will begin a mass exodus off of the Ethereum network to the XRP Ledger. By default, they will figure that out. There's no question about it. I really do believe that. And we all know this picture, this very famous picture, sitting around with the head figures in the political world, in the DC world, right? And Ripple is always at the table. Stellar's always at the table. Circle's always at the table. Well, Paxos is always at the table too, as you can see here. Leslie Chavkin, Global Head of Public Policy at Paxos. You know, again, I remind everybody that I believe the Paxos, the Circle, the Ripple, the Stellar, these are all companies I believe will start to represent the foundational pillars of the United States presence in the digital world and the digital economy going forward. It will be broader than that, but these will be foundational pillars in my mind, because they're always included when it comes to government, when they talk about payments and digital assets and blockchain distributed ledger technology. These players are always in the room, and that's the answer. Just like we know how many people from the U.S. Treasury have gone through Ripple's camp, including 43rd U.S. Treasurer Rosie Rios, who's still on the Ripple board. That tells me what I need to know. That this is something that has been chosen unspoken publicly. And there is obviously an integration, a transition team that has been put together to bring these things right. Or as simple as Ripple hires the right people from the right places so we can get the technology implemented properly without the hassle of not being compliant. I believe the legal case, the Ripple legal case, the SEC versus Ripple case is in fact as much a legal matter as a vetting and audit process. Just as Microsoft was sued, just as Tesla was sued, just as Amazon was sued by the SEC as well. What I see here is an integration and a preparation, and we are on the precipice of rolling out what will become America's footprint in the digital world. And that footprint will be helped established by the companies that I mentioned, the Circles, the Paxos, the Ripple, the Stellar. I do believe this. And regulatory approval for Ripple's real USD would require multi-agency coordination and cooperation. So it is a good thing Ripple is always 100 steps ahead. In 2013, defendant Chris Larsen, then CEO of Ripple, made a presentation to the SEC and other regulators about Ripple and XRP. That meeting also had participants from the Treasury Department, the Federal Reserve, the FDIC, the National Credit Union, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the IRS, the Conference of State Bank Supervisors, Federal Trade Commission. You getting it, point? You getting the point? Since 2013, and we're supposed to think that all of this is happening like a pinball game? I'm 53. And I'll tell you the way my old man used to say it. You can say a lot to me, but when I got to be the idiot in the conversation, we're going to have a problem every time. This is obvious where this is going. This is obvious the conversation has been ongoing with the interworkings of the U.S. government since 2013. This is why you hear me say I believe Ripple is as much commissioned as it was a startup company. Then you factor in this. I want you to look at this diagram here showing the MENA region, Dubai, and everyone else around it. Look at this. A timeline of Ripple in Dubai. You go through the whole timeline to basically show you this. 20% of Ripple payments clients in the MENA region, the Middle East, North African region. 20% of their clients. I'm telling you, you get this regulatory framework globally coordinated, and watch out. Why would this even be a question? Why would this be something people would be so rejected by to see when we've seen it happen in history before? The only thing we don't know is how strong of a bump will we get when we finally get it? Will it be like a 2021 bump? Or will it be like a 2017, 2018 ride? I don't know. I'm just glad we all have the awareness to have our bags packed so we can be here to find out. By the way, my news feed on X is looking great. It is looking great. Every once in a while, you got to go through and clean it up. You got to clean up that news feed. You know what I mean? It's like, I think sometimes, people take for granted, whether you're in their life and what degree you're in their life. It's good to go through and clean up your feed every once in a while. It's been amazing. Been riding on a high from it. It's amazing. I love it. And you know what? We got so much good news coming, and it is quite obvious to me that the things that we talk about here on this channel are unfolding right before our eyes. And I want to stay highly hyper-focused on exactly that. And that's what we're going to do. If you want to join us, we put an incredible piece in the Freedom Zone yesterday for you. It is super powerful, and you talk about scary. And if it's real, I mean, this is a producer from major Hollywood films whistleblowing on Hollywood people and what they're doing. And it is quite alarming. I don't mind telling you, but if you want to hear it all, we have that as the latest piece in the Freedom Zone, and it is a major piece. It will make the hair stand up on the back of your neck. If people are doing these things, I swear I've never even known such an evil in my life. It's unbelievable. You digperspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone, and come on in. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.